Thinking isn't going to get you your desire. Thinking isn't going to get you what you want. Action is. Hello, alchemists. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be diving back into my new series, Heal, Feel, and Reveal. When you allow yourself to heal, then you can truly feel more alive in your body. And then what's left is the revealing of your heart's truest desire and the path that's going to help you obtain those desires. I truly believe that everything is connected. Your relationships, your career, what you love to do, your physical health, your mind, your body, and spirit. When you're nourishing all areas of your life, then they all get to simultaneously flourish. It's our job to give it the consistent nourishment and maintenance. A holistic life is a truly vibrant one. So for today's lesson 3, we're going to be talking about releasing limiting beliefs and blockages. And I have a 3-part process I think that really helps to simplify it. Ultimately, this series isn't created so that I tell you everything that you need to do. This series is created so that you can customize your life. What this series is designed to do is to give you the tools. So it's up to you to use tools. At the end of every lesson, I'm going to prompt questions that you can answer that can help you to generate the answers to what you really want, what you really are questioning and desiring for yourself. I know for sure that you guys know what limiting beliefs and blockages are. This is the way that I like to think about it. It's a part of life. It's at every stage in life, we are going to be encountered with new limiting beliefs and blockages. So it doesn't matter how successful you get in life, you're always going to be tested with a new set of limiting beliefs and blockages. Why is that? That's because we are infinite potential and we're constantly diving into our potential and taking action and seeing what happens to reveal to us like what more are we capable of. This is why life is exciting, because you don't know your potential until you start doing things and you start trying things out. Then you find out, oh wow, actually I can do this and maybe I can do more. I truly believe releasing limiting beliefs is an act of surrender. And surrender is just that important aspect to life that we can't get away from. You know, life requires so much grace for us to get through things. But in order for us to get through those things, we have to let it go. Now, this isn't the video. If you're looking for a video where we're going to be tracing and tracking your past regressions and thinking about what happened to you, what childhood trauma occurred to you, this is not that video for that. The only thing that truly matters to me in life is the present moment. Limiting beliefs, regardless of what happened to you in the past, that happened to you in the past. This present moment is what matters now. So some people, they have trauma that's occurred to them years ago, decades ago, but they're having a hard time releasing it and letting it go. That's the belief. So how can we shift our belief? This is my formula. 25% is identifying. First, you need to identify what are your limiting beliefs. And we're going to get into talking about how we should identify it. The next 25% is plan and prepare. You have to plan and prepare. You have to create some ideas, a list of ideas of what you can do to access the thing that you're wanting. And the third part, and the 50% of the process, is action. You want to obliterate your limiting beliefs. You want to release them. The only way you're actually going to do that is if you try something out and you get and obtain the thing. In that moment, that's when you know you've finally released that limiting belief. So many people get stuck in this cycle of, I just need to think about it. I need to process. We're all overthinkers. Thinking isn't going to get you your desire. Thinking isn't going to get you what you want. Action is. However, you do need to take a moment to think about what those beliefs are. You need to identify it. What happens when we release our limiting beliefs? What happens when we move past them, we move through them, we obliterate them? We become stronger, we learn about ourselves. It is in this process, in our journey to obtaining our heart's desire, that we reshape our subconsciousness. While I think it's important to shower yourself with affirmations, to do the journaling, to do the work, to understand your limiting beliefs. I don't think it's important to sit in it. I'm not asking you to sit in your limiting beliefs and journal about it for 10 days, 20 days. No, we're going to talk about what I would recommend, how you approach it. For every person, it's a different process, but sitting in it isn't going to help you to move past them. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the first part. Now, what I would recommend is that you create a practice for yourself. Whether that's with the new moon, the full moon, or the start of the month, or right at the end of the month, create a practice for yourself where you write down your limiting beliefs. How do you identify these limiting beliefs? Think about the thing that you want. What is your heart's desire? What do you want? What feels exciting to you? What lights you up? Write it down and think about why you haven't achieved it yet. Why haven't you accessed it? Why are you not on your way to it? Are you moving in the direction? Are you on the path to your heart's desire? Are you on the path to obtaining what you want? If not, why not? These are the first two prompted questions. What do you want? And what is stopping you from obtaining it? That's your limiting belief. Whatever that is that you need to get over and pass, move around or maneuver around, that is your limiting belief. That is your blockage. So identify it. And be really honest with yourself. The only way this process is going to work is if you are so honest with yourself and so vulnerable. I love to shower myself with affirmations. However, they're not what gets me to my heart's desire. They're not what gets me what I want. It is the act of moving past these limiting beliefs that's going to help you to actually move past them. Be truly honest with yourself. Be really honest, very naked. What are your deepest fears? What are your deepest insecurities about getting that thing, obtaining that thing? What do you not feel young enough, old enough? Whatever it is that's keeping you, you need to be super honest. In order for you to get through the process and to release your limiting belief, you have to identify it and you have to be really honest with yourself. And I do this every month. I'm super transparent with myself with what are my deepest fears? What are my deepest insecurities? Because what happens when you shine light on the darkness? When you shine light and when you shine that self-awareness on the darkness, now there's nothing to be afraid of. It's not a monster. It's an itty bitty thing. And I think that's what's going to surprise people the most is it's not this big scary thing. The only time it's going to have control over you is if you don't identify it. It's if you continue and you choose to run away from it. That's when it's going to become a problem. So be very honest. What are your deepest fears? What are your deepest insecurities? If you're not honest with yourself, if you're not totally transparent, it's going to creep up on you. And you'll find yourself halfway there, on your way to your goal, self-sabotaging. Just this past year, now 2021 was a big year for me. It was huge in terms of learning what I was capable of. It was so abundant, but it was also so challenging because there were so many new experiences that I was being introduced to. And at the end of the year, I couldn't celebrate my accomplishments. The only thing that came up to the surface were my fears, my anxieties, my insecurities, and they were so ugly. And I couldn't stop crying. I could not stop crying. I couldn't stop processing. And what I would do, this is so funny, I would have a cry fest and then I would just be done. I'd be like, oh, I released it. I let it go. It's time to move forward. And then it would come back up again. And I would have to dig even deeper and process it all over again. So each time it kept coming up, I had to dig a little bit deeper because I was not being honest with myself about what I was experiencing. I wanted to sit on the surface of, I got some fears, some insecurities, maybe I have fears about money. No, it was deeper than that. It was deeper than that. I had to be honest with myself. Whatever mean thought that comes up, whatever mean thought or hurtful, painful, gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching thought that comes up, write it down. Write it down. Look at it and take a moment to acknowledge it. This is how you're going to free yourself. You need to know exactly what you're coming up against. You know how people study the competition? You need to study the competition within yourself. If you don't know your weaknesses, I honestly don't see these as weaknesses, but if you don't know yourself, if you don't know what subconscious beliefs are floating around in your system, you're not going to know how to move past them. You can't create a plan and prepare. So you have to first identify very clearly, pour it all out. your deepest fears, your deepest insecurities. We all know that it typically boils down to one thing, which is fear. But you have to be honest with yourself about what that fear sounds like, looks like, smells like. And one of the thoughts that actually came up, I don't know, it's kind of funny, but this is one of the thoughts that's come up at times. Like it's literally been like 4 years apart where this thought has come up very strongly, and then I'm fine. But one of the thoughts that comes up is, I'm a loser. And I know it sounds almost so like high school, but it's like, I'm not good enough, but I'm a loser. That's the phrase. I'm a loser. I'm a loser. And it's so mean, but I had to look at that. So I wasn't afraid of it anymore. I had to see exactly what it looked, smelled like, felt like. And once I was able to kind of like really get close to it and intimate with it, just like up and close with it and really look at it for what it was, I wasn't afraid of it anymore. I'm just like, oh, okay, so that's what's been floating around in my head. Huh. I'm so happy. Now congratulate yourself. You just finished step 1. That is a huge accomplishment. Again, this is not a therapy session. We're not going to delve back into your trauma about what happened to occur to make you feel that way. We're in the present moment right now. You are God's child. You have access to infinite wisdom, to infinite source, to creating your dreams and desires. The gurus and the teachers, they talk about this all the time. People talk about, oh, I have dysfunctional family. Should I just leave them alone? Should I never go around them? Should I avoid them? They never tell you to avoid your family. Now, unless you're in physical harm, use it as a spiritual practice. Grace, surrender. Use it as spiritual practice. Don't run away from it. You know, we constantly want to justify ways to run away. We want to shower ourselves with excess positivity so we can just think our way out of this situation. You're not going to think yourself out of subconscious limiting beliefs and blockages. You can't think your way out of it. The thinking is the intellectualizing. And that's like the first 25%, right? Or the first 50%. After you've kind of thought about it, now you have to go about shifting into moving what you're going to do to get past it. They're always going to exist at every stage in life. Okay, so that's step 1. Part 2, plan and prepare. Keep it really simple. I think a lot of people get bogged down into this idea of like this elaborate plan of everything they need to do to build something. I'll share an experience for me. So I've been working on my website for like well over a year, and there were some like little, fixes and glitches. They weren't little, they took hours to figure out, but there are fixes that I needed to apply to my website. And it was driving me crazy. For like a year, I avoided trying to figure out how to fix it and how to work through it. And then I set up a plan and I broke it down. So whether that's 10 minutes or 30 minutes in the day, give something to your dream, your desire, whatever you're wanting to obtain, give something to it. Break it down in easy, accessible steps. Make it so simple, so easy that you want to just get up and do it. You can't wait. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. So let's say your biggest goal, it's down the line there. It's like a 10-year plan kind of thing. Break it down into a 5-year plan, then break that down into a 2-year plan, and then break that down into a 1-year plan, and then break that down into 12 months. You don't need to know every single step. You don't need to know all the answers. All you need to know is like what you're going to do for the first month or the first year. All you're really taking action on is the first day or month. You can only do one step at a time. So don't overwhelm yourself with everything you need to do. You can only do so much in one day. Do a little something every day. Write it down, check it off. I would recommend, I brought this up in the last video, the Post-it note, right? Step 1, 2, 3. Those are my tasks for the day. So this website editing that I needed to do, there were so many videos, tutorials, posts I had to read, videos I had to watch just to figure it out. But I broke it down into a 1-month period. I said, I'm going to complete this. Sometime during this week, I'm going to carve out like 1 hour. I would like to say it's like going to be 30 minutes, but it always ended up being 1 to 2 hours. I'm going to carve out just 1 hour of time where I just tackle a few of these tasks. And if I don't complete it all, we move it to the next day or we move it to the next week, whatever works. Don't overwhelm yourself. Time is irrelevant. Time is irrelevant. It doesn't really exist. It stretches and it forms and it modes according to your energy. So you're going to lose momentum. You're going to lose energy if you don't feel like it's accessible or simple for you. So keep it really simple, break it down, make it so easy, like a child could do it kind of thing, or caveman can do it or something. Just make it so easy for yourself. Don't overcomplicate it or overthink it. We're God's children. We have infinite access to resources. Use your resource. If you have a computer, you have access to, I would have to say, the universe. If you have a body, you have access to the universe, because in your body there is wisdom. You know, before our ancestors had computers, they were figuring out mathematical equations, the distance and the sizes of planets. If they can do that with their limited resources, oh, believe me, you best believe you can achieve a world of things, a pool of things with your resources. So this idea that you don't have the resources or the people or the access, again, all of these are beliefs, right? We tackled that in step 1. Identify what those are, what those limiting beliefs are. Now, the whole idea isn't to like break it down and dissect these limiting beliefs. We're not doing that. The limiting belief is an illusion. Your only job is to find a way to get through it, move past it, move around it. You don't have to tackle the limiting belief. Just like when it comes to how you connect with your family, even if it's a dysfunctional family, you don't have to try to fix and heal your family. You just need to learn how to be with them. Just be with it. Make peace with it. So set up a plan, break it down, keep it simple, break it down month by month. For sure, break it down month by month. All you need to know is what next, like 4 steps you're going to do. You need to dive in, because we're going to get to the next one, which is like the most important. This is the 50%, and that's action. You need to dive in and you need to take action. The only way your limiting belief is going to be shifted, released, thrown away, moved around is if you take action. You need to see yourself complete, achieve the goal and the task in order to eliminate and release your limiting belief. Question number 1, what do you want? 2, what's stopping you from getting it? 3, what do you need to do? What steps do you need to take to get it? What action do you need to take to get it? And it is that simple. When you're writing down your limiting beliefs, new moon, full moon, it doesn't matter. Create a practice of identifying your limiting beliefs every month. That way you prepare yourself mentally, physically, emotionally for whatever comes up, so that you can look at it head on. You can acknowledge it. That is all our emotions, our fears really want, is they just want to be acknowledged. They want to be seen. You don't have to validate your limiting beliefs. You don't have to debate them. You just need to prove that in spite of your limiting beliefs, you have everything, all the resources, all the abundance to achieve the thing that you want to achieve. In my previous video, I was talking about uncertainty. So if you guys have seen lesson number 1 is about unlocking your creative power, your creativity. And that limiting belief that I shared and had to tackle for myself was uncertainty. Uncertainty is applicable to everything. So it's not really a limiting belief, it's a strength. It's a limiting belief that you can turn into a strength when you see and realize that it gives you the wherewithal to jump in and dive in. So that is the end of lesson number 3. Make sure you guys are here for lesson number 4, where we talk about abundance, blessings, and being seen. You have to be seen. We have to feel seen. It's a part of our vitality, is to be seen. We're going to dive into how do we allow ourselves to do that, right? We've learned how to release our limiting beliefs. Now, how do we dive into being seen, into being able to access, to touch, to allow ourselves to be magnetic and access our heart's desire? Sometimes you can get past the blockages, but then when it comes up again, we self-sabotage. I'm going to talk about the ways in which we can learn how to embrace our blessing, and embrace our power, and embrace our light and our truth, and just shine. Make sure you guys hit the like, comment down below, share in the discussion. I want to know, what actions are you going to take to move past your limiting beliefs? I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening. Bye. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. So I'm currently doing a 20% off coupon on my website. You want to go ahead and copy that to your clipboard. I know most of us use our cell phones. That's why I'm showing the cell phone version. My website tells you more about me. As most of you guys know, I am an artist. I do photography, painting, and drawing. Yes, I have a newsletter for my website. This is my Instagram post. It's actually missing an S on that coupon code, but I'm going to go ahead and put it down in the box below. So I'm just showing you how to navigate the menu, drawing prints, art prints, photography. Once you go ahead and find one you like and you find the size that you like, you can go ahead and add that to the cart. And I use very high quality archival matte paper. That's why they are priced the way they are priced. Once you add the size that you like, go ahead and hit the view cart button. That will take you to the cart page, and then hit that proceed to checkout button. That'll take you to the checkout page where you want to go ahead and paste that coupon code. All right, and it should take off the shipping costs, if not more then. And my website also will tell you more about me, where I studied. And I also do blog posts, which I don't really do anymore. I do most of my communication on YouTube these days. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening. Thank you for that. Goodbye. I need some patience here.